welcome into another edition of the Morning Espresso here on the SDH Network. I'm Jason Longshore, and this, as always, is brought to you by our friends at Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. Let's start with one of the worst kept secrets in the history of world football. Maybe not to that extent, but follow me here. Carlo Ancelotti to Brazil. He will be the first permanent foreign coach in Brazilian history. He will take over ahead of the June World Cup qualifiers, and his checklist taking over includes solving the defensive woes, bolstering the midfield, and fielding a lineup that won't be over reliant on Neymar. No big deal. He's got this, right? It's already started in conversations reportedly with two key Brazilian players from previous World Cup campaigns. Neymar, who is at Santos recovering still from injuries. He's been injured again as of late. And Casemiro at Manchester United, who has had a bit of a resurgence after a poor start. He's been great there lately. There's no real successor to either one of them in the national team setup. So Ancelotti needs them, but he also needs to have strategies and how to play with them and without them. The defense has been one of the most shocking things with Brazil. And I know that's weird talking about Brazil and defense, but between 2016 and 2022 with Tite as the manager, the Seleção, the Brazilian national team, conceded 30 goals in 81 games. Since then, they've conceded 31 goals in 25 games. That's crazy. He's got to get the defense better, and he's done that everywhere he's been. So let's see what he can do with Brazil. TV band commentator Galval Bueno, who is often seen as like a spokesperson for the Brazilian fan base, he said Ancelotti's going to need some local help to deal with the challenges ahead of him. Ancelotti will bring his assistants, but he has friends in Brazil, Cafu, Kaká, and above all, Paulo Roberto Falcao, talking about three former internationals who reportedly might join the coaching staff. Ancelotti will need some local support to get these things done because, as we've seen in Brazil, the media and the fan base can turn on you in an instant. And he really doesn't have the time to have that happen and have to navigate that because Brazil's not in a perfect qualifying spot. They should qualify. They do have a cushion, but they're not in the most secure of qualification spots. Now, if history means anything, Brazil, out of their 5 World Cup titles, they were only the favorite going into one of them in 1962 when they were the defending champion. And even in that one, they had to overcome an injury that knocked Pele out of the tournament. So they had adversity. This is a team that actually plays better when they're not the favorite. So let's see, because they are not the favorite right now. And let's see how things go with Carlo Ancelotti in Brazil. The Europa League final coming up here shortly. It's going to be Manchester United and Tottenham. It's going to be one of the most lucrative matches in the history of the sport. It will be refereed by Germany's Felix Zweier. You might recognize the name. He was given a 6-month ban as part of a match fixing scandal in 2005. I hope he is the best referee in the history of referees because why would you want to even bring this into a conversation that you're putting a referee on this game who has previously been banned for a match fixing scandal? Just saying. He better be the best ever. Silly season. It is ramping up and it's kind of double pronged with Club World Cup this summer. We'll get into the Club World Cup aspects of it in a second. Kevin De Bruyne. We know he's leaving Manchester City. There's been a lot of talk on this side of the Atlantic about him going to the Chicago Fire, who are now forced to wait because there's conversations with Napoli, according to Sky Sport Italia. Signs are, according to them, encouraging, especially around the logistical aspects of moving his family, who really would like to go to Naples in Italy. So, very intriguing. Kevin De Bruyne might not leave Europe. He might not come to Chicago. He might go to Napoli. Bayer Leverkusen, Jonathan Tah, he's been strongly linked to Real Madrid during the last year. It looks like he is about to sign for Bayern Munich instead. 29-year-old on a free transfer. Uh, Pretty smart move, right, for Bayern, especially considering they are going to lose some center backs in the upcoming window. They're going to try to upgrade with Jonathan Tah. The English summer transfer deadline, it's on September 1st. It has been moved from its traditional 11 p.m. stop time to 7 p.m. So the recruitment staff can now they can go get last orders in at the bar. Good for them. Reports out of Spain, they link Manchester City with an approach for Barcelona's Dani Olmo. Now, remember, Dani Olmo did basically everything imaginable and maybe some things that should not have been approved. Not he didn't do it, but the rogue auditor who worked for the club for 4 days at Barcelona, who somehow found $100 million in revenue that had not been accounted for it by the auditor whose job ended earlier the day that the rogue auditor took over. Yeah, this happened. Like, go back and listen to previous Morning Espressos. It's ridiculous. There will be plenty more about this Barcelona nonsense. Donny Olmo and the club did everything to get him there. Well, Manchester City wants him, and Barcelona need money. So does he go? We're going to find out this summer. Cesc Fabregas, let's go to the managerial side of the silly season. He is set to continue at Como in Italy, according to reports today. Strong links with a move to Bayer Leverkusen to replace Xabi Alonso. German reports previously had Eric Ten Hag as the prime contender for that job, but Fabregas is going to stay in Italy, so that would keep the door open for Ten Hag at Leverkusen. With his father off to Brazil, Spanish reports have 35-year-old David Ancelotti headed to Glasgow to be the manager of Rangers in his first senior job. He's been the assistant at Real Madrid, and according to AS, he is going to be the assistant for Brazil's first two matches in June before going to Scotland. Now, silly season is going to be impacted by the Club World Cup, and let's jump into our Club World Cup conversation here on Morning Espresso. First match is on June 14th. Miami will host Egyptian giants Al Ahly at Hard Rock Stadium. The first game here in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium will be June 16th. Chelsea will host either LAFC or Club America. Club America is in the Liga MX finals right now. They're in the semifinals of the competition, the Liguilla, the playoff system. So once that is done, then the playoff match will be scheduled with LAFC and Club America, and the winner of that will come to Atlanta to play Chelsea to open the tournament on June 16th. Now, in the Club World Cup, two Argentine clubs, River and Boca, will be part of it. To reduce the risk of crowd trouble at the tournament, Argentina's government has banned 15,000 quote, violent fans, unquote, from attending games. That is according to reports all over the U.S. and in Argentina as well. It's part of their supporter monitoring system that the Argentine government implemented in recent years. Talking about transfer signings, Real Madrid, they're close to confirming the signing of Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool and in time for the Club World Cup. Both clubs have to agree to a compensation fee. His contract at Liverpool ends on June 30th. Liverpool have asked for a fee to release him for the tournament, which starts in mid-June, around $1 million for 2 weeks, basically. And Real Madrid are like, cool, whatever. In addition to bringing in Trent Alexander-Arnold, Real Madrid want to bring in a center back and a left back, according to reports in Spain. Botafogo, they want to strengthen their team for the Club World Cup. One of John Textor's wishes for the competition is to bring Thiago Almada, currently at Lyon, back to Botafogo. Now, this is all complicated. Currently, the Argentine, Mr. Almada, is still part of Botafogo. He is on loan to Lyon until the middle of the year. It was done as a loan because Lyon has a transfer ban and could not acquire players permanently. So he's on loan from Botafogo. It'd be pretty easy to break the loan, come back to Botafogo, play in the Club World Cup. However, Thiago Almada doesn't really want to play in the Club World Cup because, remember, last summer he left Atlanta United. He played in the Olympics for Argentina, then went to Botafogo, played in the Copa Libertadores, played in the Intercontinental Cup in Qatar, and then only had a week off before going to Lyon. So he's been nonstop for a year and a half now. He would like a summer off. John Textor would not like for him to have a summer off because Botafogo could use the help. So stay tuned on how that one gets handled. Bayern, talked about them earlier. Eric Dyer, one of those center backs who is going to leave at the end of the season, at the end of June. Bayern are talking about giving him a short-term contract in order to be able to play past the group stage at the Club World Cup. His contract runs through that. He's leaving on a free from Monaco. Will everybody be copacetic about him staying with Bayern through the end of the tournament and then going to France? Well, we're going to find out here soon. Boca Juniors, they need a new manager ahead of the Club World Cup. They are being linked to Gabriel Milito. Milito took Atletico Mineiro to the Copa Libertadores final in recent years, won lots of respect for attacking football at Argentinos Juniors. Right now, it's Mariano Herron. He is the interim manager leading Boca through the Argentine playoffs. They will host Independiente in the quarterfinals next. Tata Martino's name has also been mentioned in the Argentine press. Milito's name has also been mentioned in Mexico, where Monterrey, they also need a new manager. They fired Martin de Michelis following Rayados being eliminated from the Liga MX playoffs. Tudene has 5 names linked to the job, 2 of them with MLS experience: Matias Almeida, Dome Torrent. Torrent recently left Atletico San Luis. He has been linked with Chivas. Milito is mentioned as a possibility for Monterrey alongside 2 other Argentines, Hernan Crespo and Eduardo Dominguez. Dominguez is said to be a favorite of the board. He's currently at Estudiantes in Argentina. However, the board is also a little reluctant because Di Michelis came in with no experience in Mexico and it didn't really go well. So let's see what happens with Monterrey. One more update on Club World Cup. Everpass Media, it's a dedicated media platform delivering premium live sports content to commercial businesses. They have done a deal with DAZN, who has the rights to the Club World Cup globally. Commercial distribution agreement in the US. Everpass customers, existing and new, will be able to stream every game of the FIFA Club World Cup 2025 in commercial establishment, bars, pubs, restaurants, etc. So all that is sorted out and done. You can watch the Club World Cup all over this summer. CONCACAF W Champions Cup, essentially the Women's Champions League in CONCACAF. Second edition will feature 10 teams, 3 from the NWSL, Orlando Pride, Washington Spirit, and Gotham FC. Group stage will feature 2 groups of 5, each team playing 4 games between August and October of 2025. The final will be in May of 2026. The CONCACAF winner, the champion, will play in the 2027 FIFA Women's Champions Cup and qualify for the first FIFA Women's Club World Cup in 2028. So far, in addition to the 3 NWSL teams, we know Monterrey, Pachuca, and Club America will be there from Mexico. We know Alajuelense will be there from Costa Rica. We know Vancouver Rise Academy will be there from Canada, alongside a team from El Salvador and Panama. Speaking of Pachuca in Mexico, they won their first ever Liga MX Femenil Apertura title, first ever Liga MX Femenil title, period. They won the Apertura 3-2 on aggregate over Club America. They lost 2-0 in the return leg, but they had a 3-0 lead from the first leg. Irene Guerrero, a midfielder who plays for the Spanish national team, and striker Scarlett Camberos, both scored for Club America, but it wasn't quite enough. Las Aguilas were not able to overcome the 3-0 deficit. They lost 3-2 on aggregate. Pachuca gets their first ever title. They had lost in 3 previous appearances in the final. One more update on the women's game. The Euros are this summer, and Lauren Hemp, Georgia Stanway, and Alex Greenwood have all been recalled to the England squad after injuries. They've all dealt with knee injuries. Serena Wigman has been without several key players during the Nations League. She will get these 3 back for 2 key games, Portugal and Spain. And then, likely, if all goes well, they will be part of the Euro squad for the tournament in Switzerland coming up this summer. Let's bounce over to MLS because we won't have a morning espresso tomorrow. I will be on the road in Austin. I don't know, maybe things could get crazy and we have an afternoon cortado. Anything is possible. But tomorrow, a full schedule of games all over the league. Montreal will host Columbus. Orlando will host Charlotte. Philadelphia will host the LA Galaxy, who are still looking for their first win of the season. Toronto will host Cincinnati. Houston and Minnesota. Nashville hosting the Red Bulls. St. Louis hosting Kansas City in a rivalry match. Already mentioned Austin and Atlanta. That game's been pushed back to a 9 p.m. Eastern start due to the heat in Austin. The high is going to be 105 degrees tomorrow. RSL hosting Portland, LAFC hosting Seattle in a really big game at 10:30 Eastern. San Diego hosting Colorado, and Miami, who has lost 4 of their last 5, is on the road at San Jose, also at 10:30 Eastern time. We'll be on the air for the Five Stripes Countdown with John Nelson and Abe Gordon. Stay tuned because our game could get pushed back even later. Right now, the kickoff high temperature is still set to be 96 degrees, according to weather reports in Austin. So we will have a Five Stripes countdown. I'm not sure what time it's actually going to start. It's scheduled to start at 7:30, but now with the game pushed back, it might get pushed back. Stay tuned on all of that. Make sure you're following all of us on social media. We will let you know. Kickoff will be right now at 9:10, and Mike Conti and I will be there. And then after the match, so late night, unified on atlutd.com/live. Joe Freihofer and Madison Cruz will take you through that as Atlanta United's unified team, which has been unbeaten for a couple of years now. They are on the road to face Austin. And then won't be back on Thursday morning for a morning espresso because we are expected to land back in Atlanta somewhere around 3:30 or 4 a.m. So the espresso will be much later in the day for me on Thursday. So no morning espresso on Thursday. We'll be back with you on Friday to recap everything. Make sure you're following Soccer Down here on all your social media platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. If there is a spot somewhere in the schedule on Thursday, I will give you an update. It might be abbreviated again. It probably will be an afternoon cortado. And just stay tuned for that. So very busy times. We will keep you posted on all of it. Georgia high school finals are this week as well. Atlanta United back home on Saturday. Atlanta United 2 at home on Sunday. Very busy. Thank you so much for watching and listening and reading and supporting the SDH Network.